The country of Madagascar has a riveting history that is rich in culture, politics, trade, religion, and change. There has been abundance of history in each of these areas regarding the native Malagasy people, as well as the people who have immigrated to the country of Madagascar. There is an abundant amount of diversity throughout the country, which holds a vast number of people due to its large island size. Although Madagascar is more known for cartoon animals that dance around an island in a movie than its incredible history, the country is absolutely rich in physical and geographical features, the use of non-written sources of history, beginnings and changes in religious makeup and diversity, natural resources and trade, humble beginnings and interactions with the outside world, great missionary work and the spreading of different religions, and changes in politics and national identity. One of the most noteworthy aspects that is to be admired of Madagascar is its beautiful and all-worthy physical and geographical features. The country, although seemingly small, is actually the fourth largest island in the world and is about the size of Texas. It's broken up into 5 geographical regions, which are the Tisarantana Massif, the highest point of the island, the Central Highlands, the West Coast, and East Coast, and Southwest. The climate of the island is tropical, temperate, and arid, and the natural resources include, but are not limited to, graphite, chromite, coal, salt, quartz, tar sands, stones, mica, fish, and hydropower. The second most noteworthy aspect of Madagascar is its use in unwritten communication. The fact that Madagascar is an isolated island makes it difficult to be current with technology, meaning that it's rich in its amount of unwritten communication. One of the most culturally telling forms of unwritten communication that come from Madagascar is the use of dancing. Dancing is used to tell stories, identify social settings, and to integrate into religious and spiritual settings. Since Madagascar is multi-ethnic and is a society marked with cultural integration over the years, dance has been used as a medium to cross cultures, boundaries, and communicate more easily. A third part of Madagascar's history that's important is the country's religious development. Madagascar, because of its isolation, has pretty much 3 main groups of religion, which are the indigenous Malagasy religion, Christianity, and Islam. The approximate number of people who follow the indigenous beliefs are 52%, Christianity 41%, and Muslim and the remaining others 7%. The Malagasy religion is centered around the idea that the dead has a lot of control over the living and to respect them, so much so that a lot of money is even put more into respecting the dead than it is to the people that are living. The fourth largest aspect of Madagascar's history is trade. Trade has not always been a large part of Madagascar's livelihood, and they've actually learned to be very self-dependent because of their isolation, but over the years, trade has become very important to the country. Madagascar's most economically valuable natural resources that are grown and used for our trade are coffee, vanilla, sugar, and cotton cloth. They're deeply reliant on agriculture and farming for their economy, which makes up roughly 25% of its GDP. Over the years, Madagascar has seen a huge rise in imports and exports, and the most growth has been between Madagascar and the US, but there are also a lot of other regions in Africa and the Greater Trade Region that they trade with, and they use a lot of resources like nickel, cloves, crustaceans, refined petroleum, rice, sulfur, and packaged medicaments to trade. The fifth part of the history is their encounters with the outside world. It's hard to tell who were the first to make contact with Madagascar, but the title is given to Diogo Dias, who was a Portuguese captain and shipwrecked on the island. This discovery forever changed their trade and their religion and their culture because a lot of new people started coming to the island. The sixth aspect of Madagascar's history is their source of religious diversity and missionaries. The 3 main groups of religious peoples, which are the indigenous beliefs, Christianity, and Islam, have played major roles in missionary history. Indigenous beliefs, they've always been there, but Christianity has sent tons and tons of missionaries for a long time over to the island. But during the reign of King Radaman in Madagascar between 1810 and 1828, European missionaries were welcomed and Christianity spread rapidly. The next queen that took over, who was his successor, was not tolerant of any missionaries and ordered the persecution of hundreds of Christians, which actually in turn strengthened Christianity throughout Madagascar and not what the queen was hoping would happen. Some missionary organizations that are Christian faith are Paris Mission, the London Missionary Society, the Norwegian Missionary Society, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Swedish Free Missions, and so on. Islam's history with Madagascar is that through trade and through the need of a place of refuge from war going on in their own countries, came over and began to spread religion naturally and not necessarily as intentionally. The last part of Madagascar's history that is important is its changing politics but unshakable borders. Since it is an island, the borders have never been shaken on Madagascar, but the politics have been forever changing. And one of the most notable aspects of Madagascar's political space is that it is defined by what is happening socially rather than ruled by the powerful and the wealthy. This is very unique to Madagascar compared to the rest of Africa. And one major time in the Madagascar history where this happened was when the French took over Madagascar and it became a French colony in 1896. This caused a lot of political change and tension, and about 100 years later there was a complete uprising of the Malagasy people and they regained their independence in 1960. Madagascar, although sometimes idealized due to children's movies or forgotten due to geographic location, is rich in history and worthy of being studied with the utmost importance and care. It's a beautiful country with rich natural resources and passionate people, and has experienced much change over the course of existence and still experiences change, both positive and negative, today. Go take a visit if you can. Thank you.